Welcome to The Explainer. I am so pumped to have you here today because we're taking on a mission to solve a household mystery that literally everyone has faced and definitely groaned about at some point. We're talking about low water pressure. Using expert insights straight from the pros at Smart Housing Systems, Inc., we're going to break down the 8 most common causes behind this incredibly stubborn issue. We've got a fantastic structured guide lined up for you, so get ready to take some mental notes. Have you ever stepped into a shower after a long, exhausting day, expecting a nice, refreshing blast of water, only to be greeted by a sad, weak trickle? Yeah, it's a universally frustrating experience. It just instantly ruins your morning or your evening. But hey, before you panic or start opening your wallet to replace expensive fixtures, we're going to conduct a structured, logical investigation to find the exact root cause. To make sure we're getting the absolute best information, we're relying on true authorities in the field. Our source material comes directly from Smart Housing Systems, Inc., they're licensed 24/7 emergency plumbers based out of Illinois. That means the 8 common culprits we're looking at today, they aren't just theories. They're drawn from real, on-the-ground, everyday professional experience. Okay, let's dive into this explainer's agenda. We'll be covering 1. The weak water mystery, 2. Suspects at the tap, 3. Hidden hardware and heaters, 4. Leaks, pipes, and city mains, and finally, 5. Your DIY diagnostic checklist. Basically, think of yourself as a plumbing detective today. We're going to work systematically, starting right from the faucet, all the way backward out to the street. Section 1. Suspects at the tap, investigating the fixtures. So let's look at cause number 1, aerators. Now these are those tiny little mesh screens screwed right onto the end of your faucets. According to the experts, these little screens, along with your shower heads, are prime suspects for localized blockages. Over time, stubborn mineral deposits and just tiny pieces of everyday debris get trapped right inside that mesh. The major clue to look for here? Well, if your water pressure is perfectly fine everywhere else in the house, except for one specific sink or shower, you're almost certainly looking at a clogged aerator or shower head. The issue is purely localized. Section 2. Hidden hardware and heaters, moving behind the scenes. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how incredibly small issues can literally bottleneck your entire house. We're looking at causes 2 and 3 here. First up, partial shutoff valves. You'll find these under sinks or near the main water line. If someone accidentally bumped one of these, or maybe it just wasn't fully reopened after a previous repair, bam, your pressure drops. It's really as simple as that. Second, failed water pressure regulators. If your home's pressure-reducing valve fails or shifts, you're going to see consistently low pressure. This is especially true if you notice the issue suddenly affecting multiple floors or just a bunch of fixtures all at the exact same time. And that brings us to cause 8. Here's a brilliant, simple comparison trick for you. Go to a faucet and turn on only the cold water. Is the pressure normal? Okay, good. Now, turn on only the hot water. Does the pressure suddenly drop? If yes, boom. You've just successfully isolated the problem. When the cold is totally normal but the hot is weak, it points directly to your water heater. Professionals note this could be due to sediment buildup blocking passages inside the tank, or maybe a failing internal component that's restricting the flow. Section 3. Leaks, pipes, and city mains, the hidden network. Consider the timeline of cause number 4, internal buildup in aging pipes. Honestly, this is the silent killer of water pressure. Years ago, your pipes were brand new, with these wide open pathways. But over time, scale, corrosion, and mineral deposits just slowly begin to coat the inside. Fast forward a few decades, and those flow paths become severely narrowed. And today, you get a noticeable pressure drop. The experts point out this is often a very gradual decline. You'll usually notice it most when you demand a lot of water at once, or in your hot water lines, where scale actually builds up much faster. Then we have cause number 5. And listen, this one requires your immediate attention: a hidden leak. A leak is literally stealing your water pressure by giving the water an alternate escape route before it ever even reaches your tap. Crucial warning signs include damp spots on your walls or floors, strange ceiling stands, wet soil pooling near your exterior lines, or, and this is a huge red flag, unexplained water meter movement when all your taps are firmly off. A leak doesn't just annoy you with a weak shower, it actively wastes water and can cause devastating structural damage to your property. Finally, we look at causes 6 and 7, where the problem is actually coming from outside the house. Sometimes supply lines get clogged by dirt or debris entering the line, often right after some nearby construction or a repair. Interestingly enough, this can sometimes affect your cold water first. Or the issue could be entirely municipal. If you and your neighbors are all experiencing weak water at the exact same time, Well, the obstruction or pressure drop is totally out of your hands. It could be tied to city maintenance, sudden demand surges, or local infrastructure problems out on the main water line. Section 4. Your DIY Diagnostic Checklist. Be the plumbing detective. So the crucial point is this. There's an easy, logical diagnostic process recommended directly by the experts to figure out exactly what's wrong without tearing your walls apart. Step 1. Test multiple fixtures to see if it's just one sink or the whole house. Step 2. Compare the hot versus cold water pressure to rule the water heater in or out. Step 3. Check your aerators for clogs and visually confirm that all nearby shutoff valves are turned completely open. And Step 4. Walk around your house. Listen for unusual hissing or rushing sounds in the plumbing and actively look for those signs of leaks we just talked about. This is your immediate action plan. Let's move to and see how this builds our final master list. Here's your complete suspect lineup. 1. Aerator clogs. 2. Partially closed shutoff valves. 3. Failing pressure regulators. 4. Pipe scale and internal buildup. 5. Hidden plumbing leaks. 6. Supply line obstructions from debris. 7. Upstream municipal main issues. And 8. Water heater problems, like sediment. By locking these 8 culprits in your memory, you're going to know exactly what to look for the next time your shower lets you down. But, we have to be realistic here, which is exactly why Smart Housing Systems, Inc. offers this crucial piece of advice. If you can't restore pressure after simple checks, contact a licensed plumber. Listen, if you suspect a major hidden leak, a completely failed regulator, or a deep pipe blockage, do not start ripping out your plumbing. Professionals have the specialized tools to safely measure the pressure at the right locations, and they can successfully inspect your lines without causing massive, expensive damage to your home. Let's end with a final provocative thought. Is your home's plumbing trying to tell you something? Because low water pressure is very rarely just bad luck. It's almost always a symptom of a specific, solvable physical issue. And sometimes it's a warning sign of a much larger impending disaster, like a hidden leak. So arm yourself with this diagnostic checklist, investigate those taps, and whatever you do, do not wait for a trickle to become a flood. Thanks so much for learning with me today on this explainer. I really hope your home's water pressure is back to full blast in no time.